What's up, everybody? You are watching the Stork News live. We are full live, full on 100% today, and I could not be more excited about what we have for you. This is huge. This is giant. We might have the release date for the PlayStation 5. That's right, the PS5. Super huge. Oh my gosh. On top of that, we have a remake from, or remake. It's kind of a remake, also a remaster, but a mesh of both for one of the best Tony Hawk games, or really two of them, mixed into one ever. Marvel's Iron Man VR has a release date. Ghost of Tsushima is having a special event coming up. Goldeneye has been put into the Unreal Engine 4, and it looks awesome, and so much more. So, before we get into all these great stories, I just want to encourage you, like this video. If you enjoy the content that you're watching and you like hanging out here at Gamestork each and every day at 8 p.m. to catch the most recent showing of the news that you need to know about, then hit that like button below, hit subscribe, which is that red button right beside it, and the bell so that you know every single time I go live. On top of that, I'm also going live each and every day at 9 o'clock p.m., and this is the stream through the entirety of The Legend of Zelda. We are streaming right now through the Skyward Sword. It's really funny. It's great. It's so awesome, and I invite you to come hang out because we will chat and just hang while we're doing that. Also, feel free to chat live here in the comments. I'll be watching and responding to those things. One of the beauties of live streaming. But without further ado, let's jump right into the news, which, yeah, you need to know about. So let's do this. First and foremost, it looks like Tony Hawk has got a remake, and this has been announced for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, and sadly no Switch right now. It looks like Activision has announced this. It was tweeted out by none other than Tony Hawk himself, kind of early, but that's okay. And this is a compilation remake of the first two Tony Hawk Pro Skater games developed by Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy Studio Vicarious Visions. And this is a big deal. It looks so good. It looks awesome. These are some of the best games ever. And back in the day, I just see myself all over again, jumping in, playing these games, and they're almost endless. They're so good. And I love everything that they have to offer. Honestly, I mean, it's not just a time waster. They're challenging. They're great. But this is really good. This is a mixture of the first and second game. And this is going to release on September the 4th this year. That's right. That's only a few months away. It's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, PC via the Epic Game Store. And if you pre-order this, you get early access to a demo of the iconic warehouse level. So you get to play kind of early if you buy early. Now, I can't say that I'm going to buy early, but I think eventually I might get my hands on this title. I love Tony Hawk. I think it's super cool. And games like this, I don't know why, the time period where they were popular, why they ended so soon. I think they ended way too soon. And this is one that I'm happy to see come back. And they're doing it in such a way that they're bringing back what's good, combining the first two games. All the content's going to be there. And it looks like we know that all the music's going to be there. It's really good. There's some new moves from the first and second games. It looks like reverts are there. I don't even know what that is, but hey, we know they're there, right? So we'll learn it in the game as we go through the challenges and try to unlock things. But yeah, there are new moves. All the music is still there. And here's the cool thing. I'm an advocate for local co-op. One of the reasons I love Nintendo so much is they really care about getting your family together and allowing you to play one game on one console on the same television together, right? So when asked about this, we found out through IGN asking the developers, yes, they will have both online multiplayer and also split screen for local co-op. And I think that is huge to sell this game. I'm really excited about what that means for this, for me, playing this with my kids, playing this with friends, and just, man, jamming out to the awesome soundtrack. It's got both of these games have good soundtracks, and the idea that that's going to stick around is great. What it does make me question is whether or not I'd be able to stream these games, considering those songs belong to other people. But that's okay. In any case, let's move forward. Speaking of games that are awesome that we can't wait for, I have a VR that's just kind of been sitting there, and yes, there are some games that I do play on there. I really love Beat Saber. It's one of the greatest things that's ever been, even though they need more songs. But Marvel's Iron Man VR looks amazing. It looks super awesome. And when they inevitably just delayed this game and said, we don't know really when it's coming. We know it's coming, but we don't know when. I got really upset, okay, because I want to play this game. To be able to freely fly around in an open world as Iron Man sounds one of the coolest. That sounds like one of the absolute coolest experiences that you could ever have in your entire life. VR is one of those things that you don't know what you're missing until you really get in and experience it. And that's one of the selling. It's hard to sell something that you have to experience, but you can't. Also, hey, Triple E, whoever you are, EEE. But this is one of those things, man. I have experienced VR, and if you have, you know how awesome it can be. And the idea of almost like this AAA game coming out for the VR where you actually get to be Iron Man, which is, come on, I'm a Marvel super fan, okay? I love Marvel and the idea of getting behind and honestly just being Iron Man in a video. Yeah, I mean, come on, you really can't lose. Anyway, the release date has now been announced, and that's the good news. This release date is coming on the PS4 on July the 3rd, which is right around the corner. I was afraid that this was going to be pushed back even further, but it looks like we're lucky enough to have, kind of get this year. And yeah, it's cool. So between this, June the 19th, Last of Us Part 2 comes out, and despite the leaks, still excited to play it. So June the 19th, July the 3rd, this is like a 2-week window where these two amazing hits are going to come out for the PlayStation 4. And let's face it, it's going to be really freaking great. Okay. So moving forward, speaking of first-party PlayStation stuff, this is apparently a very heavy PlayStation episode, and that's okay. PlayStation first-party games they've been rebranded. PlayStation Studios brand is launching alongside the PlayStation 5. So from now on, when you see these new games coming that are first-party, you're going to see that this logo that you see right here, PlayStation Studios. Yes, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but this rebranding is really showing that they're very passionate about what they create. They do a very good job. Their first-party studios are amazing, and I'm honestly just super excited to see what they come out with next. We know everything from the Avengers to you name it is coming. However, it looks like the current first-party games which are coming out, like The Last of Us, so on and so forth, they're not going to be sporting this at their launch, right? But the later games that are coming with the PlayStation 5, which are first party, it seems like they will. So that's a pretty big deal. It doesn't seem like it's a huge thing. It's kind of just a change of a logo, but at the same time, this could reinvigorate them to create more things, or maybe it shows that they're more serious about creating even better games in better ways. I'm always good for quality gaming. I'm always good for anything from Sony first party because it's always a great experience. Like The Last of Us, let's be honest, not the greatest game that's ever been made, but it is one of the best experiences that you could ever have. It's like playing a movie right there in the palm of your hands. You could play part 2 there coming out very soon, okay? Although it won't be PlayStation Studios. Yes. Speaking of things coming that's amazing, Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, that's right. If you're like me, you are hungry for this game. Anything feudal Japan, yes, I'm sold on it. I'm sold on it. I'm sold on it. Did I mention that I'm sold on anything from feudal Japan? I even play games that are not that good because I love samurai so much. And that is just the reality of the situation. I have played like every samurai game ever. So when I seen this one, it was like a cat smelling catnip for the first time. It was like a cat that literally just saw the bag open and is like, oh my God, meow, meow, and it's running towards that catnip like, I have to have this. This is the best thing ever. So I've literally been just swarming around every bit of news in this game. Don't even care if anything gets spoiled. I could care less. Anything that they would feed me, drip feed me, anything from this title, yes, I will take it. It is already sold. I'm like that, that meme of Fry yelling, take my money, because this is what it is. So I'm excited to figure out here that they will have a state of play on July the 17th, and this is going to show off. Oh, it's set to be released on July 17th. Sorry, May the 14th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's when we're going to see more of this gameplay. Now, so far we haven't seen like an entirely, just being honest, we haven't seen a huge amount of actual gameplay. We've seen little snippets. We've seen things that get us excited. We've seen a lot of stuff, but we haven't seen gameplay. Okay, and that's that's kind of where we're at with this game. They want to keep it as secret as possible. Why? Because it's amazing. It's probably story driven, and it's really, really, good. Okay, so open world, samurai, story driven, first party, gorgeous, sold. Take my money. All right. If I was mixing this down and I wasn't live, I would cut away right there and come back to something hilarious. But I'm not. Long story short, May the 14th, 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, we will see more of this gameplay in the PlayStation State of Play. I'm overly excited. I mean, I'm jubilant. Jubilant! Yes! Speaking of being jubilant about things, I spent many an hour, a ton of time in my past playing this game that you might know. I memorized the levels. I went through, I knew where every enemy was. I knew their tendencies. I knew where every corner was. I knew all of it. And it was called Goldeneye. When this game came out on the N64, it was everything to me. I played this game for so long. We played it multiplayer. We played it single player. I knew I could just get any and everything. I knew it inside and out. So, boy, was I excited to see that someone, which we'll go through in just a second, has this running in the Unreal 4 engine. And as you see in front of you, this is just one of the scenes from there. It's considered by many to be a classic game, and it's been praised for introducing multiple elements to traditional first-person shooters, and it has. It was awesome. It was amazing. This is originally released in 1997, right after the film. And you know what? It didn't matter that it was so, far removed from the film. It was like 2 years out. It was amazing. It was so good. And no one really, really honestly cared. Now, this game is running in the Unreal Engine 4. Here, just this one scene. It looks so good. I'm very excited. If I can say this, they'll post on YouTube, Rafael Menezes. Yes, we'll say that. This is his work in the facility area, utilizing Quixel Megascans and Unreal Engine 4 to create a level that looks impressive. Let's face it, what you're seeing in front of you right now looks really good. And if they did decide to remake this game in its entirety, number one, I would be 100% on board. And number two, if it looked this good, I think everyone else would too. So thinking about this, yes, do we want Goldeneye to come back? Do we want it to be brought back to maybe all consoles and look like this? Well, of course we do. Okay. And sometimes, I get like almost distraught because I think about the idea of like these people sitting at home and they can build these environments in these levels, and yet we don't see the remakes of these games that we love. These beloved games that really deserve to be remade. This is one of those. It was, other than the first Halo, this was like it for the first-person shooter. This was the defining moment for that 3D first-person shooter, and man, it's amazing. So be sure to sound off in the comments if you loved Goldeneye, because hey, you should have. If you're like me and you're kind of an old man and in modern years at the old age of 33, yeah, this is one of those you played growing up. You love it. You knew how to get the golden pistols, and yeah, so all those good things, all of them. How many of them? All of them. Moving on. Here's the big news we want to know about, okay? The PlayStation 5. So here we go. Let's get right into this. We're going to go into the original story. We're going to look at an update to the story, and then we're going to talk about what this means. It looks like the release date of the PlayStation 5 might have been leaked. Yes, through a job posting. Now look at this. The PlayStation 5 release date may have been leaked early, and it's great news for PlayStation 5 pre-order customers. According to a newly released job advert in Japan, which is what we see, the industry insider, if I say his name, Nibel, the PlayStation 5 is scheduled to release in October. We will see the best suppliers from domestic and overseas parts partners and adjust the specifications of hardware parts and production capacity in cooperation with the design department and the quality assurance department to create the PlayStation 5 scheduled to be released in October 2020. That's what reads in the translated job advertisement. Now, with the Xbox Series X tipped to launch in November, Sony could still march from the competition in the next-gen war, as you see here. According to this, Sony may be forced to charge $499 for the PS5, and recently we saw that the Xbox Series X might be launching for $399, so they might actually cut them down by $100, right? However, does the following, let's just be straight here, does the following for the PlayStation 5, give them kind of the wiggle room to charge a little bit more for their parts? Now, as we saw when Mark Cerny made his presentation, we know that teraflops aren't everything, and of course we know that. It's functionality, it's how everything works together, it's how the games are read, it's how the sound is put out. There's way more things than overall power, right? But if you put out two consoles, one's $100 less, it's going to be kind of hard to justify getting one over the other, unless there's some pretty killer first-party apps. But let's face it, the Xbox is launching with Halo, and PlayStation really needs a AAA knockout in order to compete with that, especially if they're going to come out at $100 more. Now, there was an update to this. Sony has since then denied the PlayStation 5 launch in October, and they're claiming that the information was an error. That's according to a new update by Famitsu, who asked Sony about the October 2020 listing, and Sony claims it was a simple error by a recruitment site, and there's nothing new to report. Now, what I have to say about this, and what you should be saying about this, okay, if you're me and I'm you, is, okay, Sony, whatever, bro, all right? You messed up, we saw it, and you can't take it back, all right? You can say whatever you want. This is what they do. 101, every single release cycle, every single game, every single league, they're like, no, that's not what's happening. Look that way. Look over there. And then it happens, man. It comes out right then. So expect them to jump ahead, to come out in October, which really honestly makes sense. I've even seen analysts and other people saying that they expect this to come out on October the 20th, which is the word on the street, and it could happen. I don't know. This would be great to me. If it does come out in October, that gives them time to really get that 1-2 punch, maybe get those big first and third party games out by Christmas, and you'll see them have a very good launch lineup. Also, Xbox, they're going to have a very strong launch lineup too. This is going to be a honestly very, very competitive launch for both of these consoles, which is probably why Nintendo is not even mentioning that they have a new console in the works, despite all the leaks, despite them saying that they literally do. It might have to wait till March or somewhere near that, and they compete with them via software, or a new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, or something like that. The leaks there say Mario, so it's going to be PS5 versus Xbox Series X versus a bunch of Mario, which, let's face it, sounds like a hella good Christmas for all of us, right? Sounds like a very good Christmas. So it looks like the PlayStation 5 is set for October. I believe this 100%, despite them denying this. I think that's just a gut reaction and PR saying, you know what, we don't want to be held to this just in case. But we know that there's going to be a limited number of PlayStation 5s put out due to the coronavirus and this COVID-19. We don't know how that's going to affect Xbox, but we do know, as far as Sony is concerned, that they are planning on putting out less consoles. So if you want one, you're probably going to have to pre-order it as soon as you can, okay? Because there may not be many. And for that matter, where do you pre-order? Because which businesses are in trouble? Will GameStop be open when it comes? I don't know. We'll find out in the future. Maybe Best Buy. Who knows? I don't know. I've read too many horror stories about Amazon to go there. It's not going to happen. Never! Anyway, let's move forward to our favorite part of the show. This is our featured comment section, and if you want to be featured, all you have to do is comment below. And next week, or not next week, tomorrow, I will take some of the best comments, regardless of what they say. Even if you disagree with me, tell me I'm a stupid, dumb doo-doo head. And if you do it in a good enough way, I will feature it, okay? So tell me if you agree, disagree with any of these stories, anything like that. Give me a good question. Whatever it is, does not matter. We will talk about it, right? So this is a section where we feature your comments. So without further ado, Let's jump into the comments, shall we? The first one comes from Ned Flanders. He disagreed with me on one of the videos, and he said going back to Wii U design would be suicide. Why try something again that only sold 10 million units? All right, so I'm going to click back where you can see my face. You see my face? Do you see it? Okay, so here's the thing, okay? I'm going to tell you guys this one time, and it's going to blow your mind when you hear it, all right? Are you ready? Are you ready? The entirety of the Nintendo Switch is the culmination of the idea that went behind the Wii U, except they could not do it yet. The Switch is what the Wii U was supposed to be. You get it? So lifting this out of a dock, bringing it with you on the go, is what they wanted to do with the Wii U. So the very idea behind the Switch is going back to the design that wasn't successful. You dig? The very first thing I thought when I saw the Nintendo Switch was, it's just the Wii U, except it's just, looks better, right? And, I feel guilty. It's way better. It's great. It looks amazing. It's awesome. It's my probably favorite outside of the SNES Nintendo console. However, the very idea behind this, Mr. Ned Flanders, is that it is the culmination of the ideas of Iwata before he passed away when he was still there at Nintendo, and what it means, what they had in mind for the Wii U, which was take games with you wherever you go. Now you can do that. So I'm not saying that the main functionality will be marketed as dual screen, but this will be added in the Nintendo Switch Pro or whatever it is, whatever they name it. I think it will be marketed as more powerful gaming when you're at home and then game on the go or whatever else they do. But this functionality in some way will be added because that is the vision. Now, the thing that separates a Nintendo Wii U from the Nintendo Switch is marketing and a smooth OS. I don't know if you guys have gotten into the Wii U. It has the slowest menus because of Weverse. It was a great system. I loved it. I love seeing art, but it was slow. Oh, it was so slow. Oh my gosh, it took forever to get anywhere. The Switch is like the fastest experience from power on to gaming I've ever had in any game. That's where they got it right. They got marketing right. They put Karen on the roof and said, you want a game? You game wherever you want. If it's on a roof, if you want to party, if you want to go to a bar and face off on Street Fighter, you can do it. And you know what? They followed through because you can. Those things are really happening. That's not just a commercial. That is life, son. So that Wii U's idea, the original core idea for that, has delivered. It has delivered through the Nintendo Switch, and I honestly believe that adding the functionality for dual screen is a given. It's not going to make them fail. This console is already a success, and within a year we're going to see them pass 60 million units, 70 million units. We're going to see huge numbers because of the software that's coming out, because of the functionality. And the fact is, if you have an option between playing a game on your television or playing that same game on your TV and being able to lift it up and take it with you wherever you go, you are going to pick the mobile option. That's what you're going to pick because we're a busy society. And there we go. I am off my soapbox, and now we can move on. Thank you, Ned Flanders. You're amazing. Thanks for watching. I certainly appreciate it. Disagree with me again, I'll feature you again. Let's talk about it, and we'll continue this talk. Moving forward, let's look at the next comment. The next one comes from Noble Society. It says, nice content. Keep uploading consistently. I believe in you. And I just want to say thank you. That's great encouragement. We all need that. We put a lot of work. I know content creators put a lot of work and effort into this. And that's something, honestly, I struggle with. I put a lot of work into mixing this stuff down. And due to me taking like a year off when I did due to work, it kind of hurt the traffic I was getting. It hurt that stuff. So putting that amount of time in here is sometimes frustrating when you only get like 30 to 50 views. But you know what? I do it because I love gaming and I love you. So thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for encouraging me. And I want to encourage you guys. We're going to keep this up this time. As you can see, I'm investing time, money, and mind power into this time. It's going to stick because Gamestork is a place to get those deliveries that you need for gaming, to see the playthroughs, to joke, to laugh. And I'm very serious about this part, just to deliver these things. I want to deliver, okay, and I'm going to. All right, so one more comment for today. As you see, Spring Mango has commented a couple days ago. Says they need a Kid Icarus game, TBH, which I'm assuming what that means. Okay, which is yeah. But Sunshine and Mario 64 would be amazing. So, funny thing, really quick about me. These abbreviations that people just put in, they just put like BBC RLPW, and I have no freaking clue what that means. Okay, you guys can probably sound off in the comments, educate me, and tell me what it means. That would be amazing of you. Okay, but it takes me a while. Okay, to kind of catch on what these means. Let's just plug a few things before I respond to this. They need a Kid Icarus game. Tiger, banana, hippo. But Sunshine and Mario 64 would be amazing. I think I know what this means, honestly, which is to be honest. To be honest, I think is what that means. But yeah, man. Kid Icarus is really good, but what I would like to see, these characters are so rich and so great. Oh, it's so good that I want to see them in a 3D adventure. Give this... look, I know Metroid Prime 4 has been given to Retro Studios. I get it, okay? I get it. Whatever project they're working on, I hope it's done and it's not on hold because, yes, but obvious reasons. But what we do know is the leaks are probably true. Yeah, and we can expect these Mario games coming. And yeah, Kid Icarus though, don't know because Smash Brothers is like, let's add every character we ever thought about except Goku because he can beat everybody. Okay, Goku can't come. All right, and they're working that dude to death. So don't expect Kid Icarus anytime soon, but it would be nice, you know. And these ports, I don't know. But if it does come, hopefully we'll see something adventurous and not something so much, you know, just flying in a straight line. Even though the stand that I got with my DS for that, or 3DS, I don't remember which one, was awesome. And I'm just, you know, playing with my stylus, doing my thing, because if you try to play with your hands, you'll break your thumbs, you'll get carpal tunnel syndrome, and you will die from it, because that is the severity of that game being touchscreen only. But coming to the Switch, if they have dual screen functionality, might work just fine. Right? 10.0.0 update? Yeah, that's a good example. Here we go. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. All you guys who are tuning in, I see you in the comments right now. I certainly appreciate it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below if you enjoy the content because we'll be here every single weekday at 8 p.m. Also 9 p.m. right after this here in just a bit. In about 30 minutes, we're going to kick off with another live stream going into Skyward Sword. Be sure to join me there. You can join me here at YouTube at Gamestork. You can join me on Twitch at Gamestork30, Mixer at Gamestork, so on and so forth. Really kind of anywhere. We're going everywhere at once because we want to grow this. We want to have a lot of fun together. And you know what? We want to expand the Stork Force. Why? Because you guys are amazing, and we're going to be the best group of gamers that has ever been together. We're going to be positive, have fun, and this is just going to be great. You know, I certainly appreciate it. So you guys are amazing. Before we close out, I do want to show you this preview for that. So while you're watching that, be sure to sub, be sure to like, be sure to comment so I can feature you. And remember, you're amazing, and don't let anybody tell you anything else. This is the Gamestork, and your news has been delivered. Join me in an adventure like no other as we live stream through the chronological timeline of The Legend of Zelda. We'll hit every branch, every game. We're going to go as deep as possible. And as we look at this, we know that the chronology of the history of Hyrule, it begins with the creation of heaven and earth, immediately followed by the events of Skyward Sword, which is where we're going to start. It splits after Ocarina of Time, and with one timeline depicting the events that follow Link's triumph over Ganon, and the other his defeat. The section of the timeline where Link triumphs is further divided into two separate realities. The child era where Link returns to his original time, and the adult era where the hero of time disappears and Ganondorf's free to return unopposed. Join me each and every weeknight at 9 p.m. as we play together on Twitch at Gamestork30, also right here on YouTube at youtube.com/GamestorkLive. You don't want to miss this one. I'll see you there. Gamestork, delivering news, reviews, and playthroughs like a newborn baby.